All right, we just wrapped up our game between the Necrons and the Death Guard with the final score. Death Guard 85 to a Necrons 60. Brutal game.
Well, most importantly, we did figure out how to get two mics working. So
maybe they always work. Maybe I just wanted to be close to you.
Yeah, it figures. Typical DJ.
No, actually, we did figure out the fact that I was happy when we went back to one of the old, because I saw the old equipment, the old mics, but before we replaced them. And because we use the same brand, they actually all hook up well. So I was able to charge that one during the game, and we're good to go. So we both are testing things. My list is more in the alpha stages, where you kind of have a couple more reps with yours. So there's a lot to kind of compare with that. So first things first, let's talk about the Death Guard. They were the winners out of this today. Turn 2 was a hammer, Mortarian hammer, if I may. The turn 2 was a very vicious strike, which kind of came to center field and hit. Do you feel like you got the impact out of that you wanted, including that Land Raider?
Yeah. This list is designed to kill 4 things in turn 2. Your army is kind of interesting because you have all these ghost arcs that aren't really that valuable targets to take down. I think I killed 2 ghost arcs, and I killed the Doomsday Arc, and I wiped through some warriors, and probably
took out the warrior squad.
Yeah. So it wasn't that big. It wasn't that many points. That big a percentage of your army. Obviously, taking down the Doomsday Arc is a big deal because that's a very powerful shooting threat.
Allegedly.
I mean, he can't handle Poxwalkers, but he can't handle 10 Poxwalkers. But
he can't handle anything. The Doomsday, seriously, it just really comes down to it that I just need to stop trying. The Doomsday Arc hates me. And honestly, I'm getting to a point that the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the Doomsday Arc's feelings towards you and your feelings towards it.
I know, and I bet in someone out there, you guys watch this have to know. You probably have those models that you're like, someone tells you, oh, it's such a good unit, and you watch them use them, and you see these things do well, but every time you use them, they just fail. They'll fail a charge, they fail a shoot. I've said this before. The Doomsday Arc just does not work for me. It's like I have better luck with a Vindicare Assassin than I do with the Doomsday Arc, and you can confirm that. I have done work with the Vindicare Assassin. I can't even take out Poxwalkers with Doomsday Arc. So yeah, that's troublesome. And the 200 some points is something that I got to definitely think about with that. But changes.
So I feel like my list is pretty locked in the big picture. I'm going to have Death Shroud and the Land Raider. I know Death Shroud can do a 6-inch deep strike, but I definitely run into situations with infiltrators and things where it blocks out that deep strike. It makes it difficult to get them in. So having a squad in the Land Raider is good. The Land Raider, it's got 4 lascans. It's just kind of nice. Sometimes in some of my games, he will be near the Lord of Virulence. It gives them reroll 1s to wound. And so if he's going at a target where I'm rerolling 1s to hit and 1s to wound, those lascans get a lot more efficient, a lot less swingy. You don't have to worry about those 1s. So I think the Land Raider is good. It's a solid, defensive piece. It's a big brick that gives off the contagion too, so it helps spread the contagion. But so I've got Death Shroud and a Land Raider. I've got a couple of Myphitic Blight Haulers. I've got 3 of the Bloat Drones. Bloat Drones did really well today. A lot of that was me rolling 6s on my number of shots when I needed to. My number of shot rolls today were pretty good when I needed them to be. So that's a swingy thing with them. There are times when you just roll a bunch of 1s for your number of shots. Sometimes you roll 5s and 6s. You don't get to pick when those things happen. They probably even out in the long run, but I got lucky that I got the big hit number of shots when I needed to at the right times today. So, but the efficiency of a Lord of Virulence giving reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound, and when you're using the Myphitic Blight Haulers, and they are essentially hitting most vehicles on 2s and wounding them on 3s. It's pretty solid. They did really good work today when they just stayed with their buddy. Things without invuln saves, they just destroy. They just hit hit the spiders and just pick those right up. The invuln saves are some things that bounce off. So I thought it was going to be a challenge today because you have 7 vehicles that are 14 wounds that have 4 up invulns, but we're able to get through them. Eventually,
I still think they did slow you down a lot. The 2 damage in my feel no pain, the 6 feel no pain. I do think it slowed you down a lot. Once you kind of broke through those, though, then the spiders, one of the things that always kind of happens with the spiders is with them not having an invuln, once they get hit by something hard, they fall apart. Your the little side flank was kind of where I was trying to play off on and be able to take some of that stuff down, but losing the Doomsday Arc as fast as I did kind of hurt that. I feel in hindsight, I probably should have put the Doomsday Arc in strategic. And if I give him another try, which I probably will, I think it's kind of a good place for him with this build because there's not, or at least in this style of matchup, there's really not a good place for him. He's not going to sit there and really threaten a lane. He's not going to threaten a lane.
I did not feel threatened. Yeah.
But he's not going to. Now, in this scenario, much like you did, and I was considering it a lot beforehand, I was talking about it when we were deploying. I was like, man, I should probably put this Doomsday Arc in strategic and just bring it on and be able to guarantee one solid hit. And that's kind of where I feel like that would have been better because I could have brought him on, hit something like where your Mephitic Blight Haulers were. I could have positioned myself further away from them, hit some of the stuff like your blow drones, especially going second. I didn't know I was going second, but it's it's still a good card to have in the back pocket, knowing to do that, and just smack them. Plus, at the same time, too, I could have chose to not. This is something we were talking about earlier this week or a couple weeks ago. I could have opted to just not bring him on my turn 3 and rapid ingress him on the bottom of your 3 when I knew where stuff was going to be. So there's some tech that I could have still pulled with that. The Ghost Arcs I continue to be really impressed with. There's a lot of play and there's a lot of moments that I feel like I was in position to really capitalize and push the game, put you on a back foot. I needed something, and that's where it was kind of a lot of the critical saves for both. It was like, okay, I need this to survive. Nope, destroyed. Okay, well, maybe I'll just go after you and I'll take this down. Nope, saved it all. And it was just a really wonky wall that it's tough for me to say like changes of that aspect because there was a lot of really wonky dice when it came to some of the stuff with the Ghost Arcs, the shooting, and the spiders as well. Now, the one thing I can say confidently that I was kind of on the fence about the Overlord with the Translocation Shroud versus taking an Overlord with the Tachyon Arrow. I think I'm going to go over to the Tachyon Arrow. Like after seeing that Translocation Shroud, that was not necessary. The other thing, and this was a kudos to you, I think it was kind of something that it's not obviously you're not teching into me, but it was something you kind of noticed as the game progressed on by tagging my Locust with that objective mark by giving them the contagion. They were locked out the whole game. I move them, and now I'm losing everything. I can't. I'm not getting my heavy bonus. If I'm not shooting at a unit objective marker, I'm not getting that. So it kind of locked them out of the game. And in hindsight, with that as well, looking at it, that might be some place that I kind of tweak a little bit because I don't know if I necessarily want to be in that position. Might go down to just 1 3-man Locust Heavy and then put something else in there to kind of hold out those back corners because I am pushing forward. So to prevent armies from being able to deep strike in on me, something like Ophidians, something that can just kind of zone out and protect that corner is kind of important. I could go something cheap like Scarabs. There's a couple options there, but I definitely want to look into that a little bit and invest something into that because I didn't like how that felt. But however, a lot of the other stuff it's a different army style for me to play, but I do enjoy a lot of what is in this build. And I want to give it a couple more tries. Don't know if that's going to be next week because we'll see. Grey Knights are on the horizon. Definitely got to get those Silver Boys on the table. And I've been doing a lot. I got a couple ideas on some lists I want to bust around with. That's going to be fun for me. It's going to be fun for me because there is some. It's going to make Lane angry.
There's a lot of stuff in that Grey Knight Codex that I'm not looking forward to playing against.
Yeah, a lot of shenanigans on that. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to look into now. This is the first draft. There's a couple things. Again, Doomsday Arc and my backfield fire base is the kind of where I kind of looking at maybe making some changes. Maybe I'll go over to Doomstalkers. I'll get the +1 to hit when shooting at units on objective markers. We do have kind of that both sides of the coin where I can shoot at infantry, shoot at that. Got the 4-up invuln. So maybe look at them. I mean, they're 140 points, so I literally could basically, I think it'd be pretty close, but I could drop all those and almost get the 3 Doomstalkers in right away.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely some stuff I'll look into and see. One opportunity I had to use the ability to reduce damage. I didn't do it. Forgot to use it. That enhancement, it's such a good ability. It's just such a bad timing. Just say
it's in your command phase, right? So yeah, I can just play around it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could target the Silent King with it if you were doing the Silent King out of this. So you really just kind of make him very vicious.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just such awkward timing on it. So, all right, Lane, that's it for me. Any closing thoughts coming from you?
Yeah, I'm not really a Death Guard expert, but I would say my advice to Death Guard players is that you really need to think about, regardless of which attachment you're playing, really think about whether you want to take the neg to hit, the neg to the hit rolls, or the neg to the armor. A lot of people just kind of auto go, oh yeah, I'm going to take the neg to the armor, but really look at the invulns that your opponent has.
Mm-hmm.
I played against Space Wolves a couple times here, and they had Thunderwolf cavalry, they had Wolfen, they had Terminators. All those have 4-up invulns. So in that matchup, I decided to also just take the neg to hit. So when they come in to fight me in combat, they're all neg to hit, which really messes with their math quite a bit. And in this game, again, you have a bunch of invulns on stuff, so I'm taking the neg to hit with you. And that means when I'm putting things in contagion, with the army detachment ability, I can throw it at shooting units in your backfield and just make them neg to hit, because I don't have to worry too much about the stuff I'm going to be close to. And in contagion, that's going to be neg to hit anyways. But being able to throw that contagion out on shooting units and making them neg 1 to hit is pretty strong.
Yep.
You had a couple bonuses. You had heavy bonuses and you had +1 to hit on objectives. Yeah, it still messed with your math quite a bit.
It does.
So that's my recommendation to Death Guard players is really think about whether you want that armor debuff or the hit debuff, because a lot of times the hit debuff is just going to be better, especially if there's a ton of invulns involved. The armor save is going to matter. So
I was able to mitigate through a lot of that in the first playthrough of this because of that +1 to hit. But it still hurt. It still hurt because there's a lot of cool stuff that I'm able to do with the army that I wasn't able to do, such as being 2-ups to hit with Ghost Arcs and being able to get the spiders up to 2-ups to hit, stuff like that. So it definitely does mess with the map and starts turning it into one of the problems that we see with Marines, where it's like, unless you have rerolls, then when you start rolling choppy dice, then everything falls apart. If you tank your hits, or if you tank the hits or tank the wounds, either way, you're cutting a chunk of those dice out along the way, and not having a reroll in there is going to hurt. For me, it's that reroll 1s to hit and wound on top of being able to at least get a lot more stuff over into that 2s to hit column. Means that now it's just, okay, I do have bulk, I have these Ghost Arcs, I have all this stuff, so something just has to roll decent on the wounds, and it was giving me too many factors and the possibility of rolling bad, because now you got that chunk that you're taking out of my dice. So definitely, yeah, I agree. You got to look and see what they are. Got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And right now, tonight, for me, it's time to fold them and go to bed. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.